And we're back.
We are back.
What's up, y'all? Hello.
Consistency. Back to
Yeah.
back.
Welcome to episode 9, the season finale.
Yes.
Oh, right. This is
Yes.
it. This is
We
it.
did it. 9
This is a
episodes.
surprise, surprise. This is the season finale.
Surprise,
Surprise, surprise. Y'all didn't know.
surprise.
No, what is your thing, man? All that work and
All that work and what did it get?
But yes, we're here. 9 episodes, end of season 1. So many great things to come. But yeah, what's up? How y'all
I
feeling?
think we should also note that we're going to come back better than ever. We're going to
like
be
knocking
in
y'all
person.
over the head.
We are going to be in person. So
In person. I think in person is important. So
it's
remind
so
us
important.
in person. So
Yeah. So that's what you guys have to look forward to with the new season.
Yes. But how y'all feeling? How y'all doing? What's
Feeling
up?
good, looking good, you know.
yeah,
Quiet
it's been a great week. Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week despite everything. I have had my own personal challenges, but God is
You,
faithful. So
you don't
and we
want
are
to
people.
elaborate. You don't want to tell the people what's going on, or you good?
no,
Look,
no,
we're here.
I'm here.
You are here
I'm
by
here.
the
I
grace of
survived.
God.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
You're here. So
So yeah, but yeah.
okay, so wait. Is everybody in Cowboy Carter land? Like, are we all
100%.
obsessed?
My birthday theme is Cowboy Carter. Shout out to that. I listen to it every single day. I discover something new every single day. I hope no, I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. The only song that is a skip for me, and it has been a skip since it came out, is Texas Hold'em. I do not like Texas Hold'em. I don't know why. It is not my jam.
What?
I know, but
That's your only skip on the album.
that is my only skip for me. But this new
Alligator Tears.
yes, love it, love it, love the little operatic moment. Love Alligator Tears.
You're thinking of Daughter. Daughter has the opera at the end.
Oh, how does Alligator Tears go?
Wow. So
I
what
don't
is
feel
the
like
I
I
skip it all the time.
So what is
Oh,
the
wow.
truth?
I don't think I skip it, but yeah, but I do like the little bounce version that she put out yesterday of Texas Hold'em. Now I fuck with that. I love a good bounce beat. But yeah,
It's a shop. I'm like, put out the visuals. Like, who asked for this?
Do you think we will get visuals?
I hope so. I mean, I was hoping that with Renaissance, and we never got those. So I don't know.
She told y'all
What is-
y'all were the visuals.
well,
I don't
she
know.
did just release the new website and like all of that. So I feel like there has to be more of a rollout coming with something. I don't
The
know.
streets are saying she's going to announce a tour tomorrow. So
I can't handle another tour, Beyonce. I'm gonna be there, but I'm gonna complain about it.
I can handle it. Inject it in my veins.
Wow.
So this is where it gets tricky. The so yeah.
Okay, before you even say anything, the album is amazing, and specifically Blackbird, because my sister Brittany
Yes.
Spencer is on Blackbird. So
Shout out to
Woo! Shout out
I'll
to
see
Brittany.
all of the young black girls in country on Blackbird, and I loved it. I instantly loved it. I instantly heard Britney's voice and was like, "Oh my gosh," gagging. And
She's
then
the
when I
first
found
voice, right?
out, you
Like,
said what?
she's the first voice. It's like her first.
She's the
then
first
Hannah.
voice.
Yeah.
She's the first
Okay.
voice.
Yeah.
And then when I heard her and like realized what the song was about, I was like, "Oh my gosh, even more special."
Yeah.
And so for that, I have nothing negative to say about the album.
Again, TikTok teaches me so much. So somebody did like a whole breakdown on like the history of like the song Blackbird and like why what's his name? Not Paul McCartney, but what's the
The other
guy?
one.
Yeah, the other,
The
old
other
white
Beatles.
Yeah, yeah. Of why he like created it, and it was a lot about like the girls who were like, desegregating schools in the South and like all of that, and giving them like inspiration. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. So I literally went right back to the song and like listened to the words again, and I was like, okay, 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 I see what you did there, Beyonce. So good.
Yeah, I love the album as a whole,
I
and
do.
Two Hands to Heaven. Oh,
Oh,
just
so
such
16
a
carriages.
spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
16
god,
Carriages is still forever my favorite, but Two Hands to Heaven, like every day that I listen to her, like she's climbing up there more and more because
yeah.
that
I
is a,
love Two Hands to Heaven. I love Tyrant.
of course you
I
do.
love Daughter. There's so many good songs on there. So
Yeah.
many good songs.
I would say like my like other than the singles that came out, my top three are Two Hands to Heaven, Sweet Honey Buckin, and Protector. No, I take that back. Bodyguard.
Oh, okay. See, I was gonna say Bodyguard is not my fave, but Protector I love. Protector is so cute. And somebody put it over like a couple's montage on vacation on TikTok, and they were like, "This is the vibe for like couple trips this summer." And I was like, "Oh my god, this makes me love the song even more."
Yeah, because we know
So
he
good.
loves a vacation.
Love, so good. Yeah, and I just love that she has inspired everyone to put their cowboy hats on, and
Yeah, it's my whole birthday party thing. Come to the
in the
hotel.
words of Santana, "Bitch, put your boots on." Like the girls are out here at the rodeo.
Yeah, literally the
Yeah.
rodeo. My whole
Beyonce is forever inspiring. Like I don't know what we do to deserve Beyonce, but
the
I
Quiet Storm
am.
gonna agree. He
Yeah.
what
And
movie?
I have Tyrant Tanks out, part of my new drop. So make sure your girls are shopping the site. Yes, Beyonce also inspired my latest drop.
Mm.
Go ahead, Quiet Storm. If you're gonna bash Beyonce, we can just skip you. Let's just move
You
on.
No,
can't skip
Matter of
like
me.
fact,
no.
But
I
you
know I have
she want to talk
nothing.
about Nicki. She wanna talk about her going to the concert. Go ahead and talk about
yeah,
it, girl.
let's talk about it.
Go
You
ahead and
went
talk
to
about it,
see
girl.
Nicki. You went to Gag City.
Yeah, you had a completely
Tell us.
different experience than Anthony did, although y'all went to, the same set list. But go ahead. How was it?
Okay, I first want to back up. I'm not about to say anything crazy about Beyonce. No, I just I mean, the album is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to sell. People are going to buy it. We're going to love it. We're going to eat it. She fed everybody. She looks great. She has great songs. It's already a hit album. Broke barriers. She's
Period.
already crossed over. It's going to do what it's going to do. I cannot hate. I can say that maybe it's not for me. And with that, that's fine. If she announces a tour, I'm still going to go. She's still going to get my money. Like I'm going to buy the merch, So, I mean, it doesn't matter what I think. I think we're living in the age of this is our Michael Jackson. So it's like, savor these moments. I also feel like it's not coincidence that she is putting out so many albums back to back like this and given that Mama is getting a little up there in age. No, that does not
Oh,
matter. No, that does not matter. But I feel like now she is also venturing out into other eras just like we've seen other artists. She's now in hair care. She's doing her clothing line. So she's trying to put her hands in other things. So maybe she can back up out of the music a little bit. So we don't know.
oh, so you're one of the girls that think she's retired.
So no, I don't think she's retiring like next year, but I do think she's making leadway to like feed you, give you content, give you albums, change genres, give the other people, the other artists, like this is what you blueprints. Like in the Bible, when the Lord was about to leave them, he let them know what they needed to do before he left. So, not comparing her to God or anything, not comparing her to God, not comparing her
Wow.
to God. But I'm just saying, when you do something, you give people like, look, this is what I did. This is what you do. Now let's see what you can do with it. I'll pop in and out, but I'm not going to be giving y'all like, whatever. But yeah, so maybe it's just not for
I
me.
was
Great.
here.
So, what
And
do you think Act 3 is going to be?
they say it's going to be rock, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's what they say. I mean, they weren't wrong about the cowboy era,
Right. The girls called that.
country era. So,
Right,
The girls did
clock
call
that
it.
T. Clock that T.
so we'll see.
So,
Okay, so how was Nicki?
Ooh, okay.
As he sips his little juice
with
pouch.
all of your videos with the sound off.
Right. I'm
That
like,
nobody told me. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. But I reposted them. Well, I reposted a couple, and the sound was on. But
And
so
I'm
yeah, so
somebody
we,
that watches stories with sound on. Like I want to
I
know.
do.
I want
I
to know
turn
what
that
you're
volume.
listening to. I want to know what the song's playing. Like I
yeah,
watch stories
I
with
didn't
the
know. So it's so crazy because I was posting, and I didn't notice until literally the next day. Like I woke up and I was like, "Let me look," and then I was looking because I'm a person that watch stories with the sound off. Like I don't want all that noise in my, whatever. So like I was watching it and I was like, "Wow, the sound
Yeah.
was off." And
But
then
And
funny
people were
enough,
like, "Oh, I thought you knew what I was about to tell you." I was
no,
like,
but like
"Y'all are so fake."
funny enough, because you did the takeover of like the Are You Reading Me Sis Instagram. Those videos had sound.
barely.
Right, barely, but yeah, she was
It
there.
was a lot going on. Okay, so
Those
yeah,
videos
when
had
it was
Like
sound, so I
two
don't understand
clips.
why
I
yours
posted like 4 or 5.
four.
Wow. I mean, attack me. I was having a good time. I mean, nobody
Exactly.
said anything when Anthony was out there criticizing. He wasn't doing anything.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, I went to go see her
Yeah.
on Saturday. That was my second time seeing her. I enjoyed myself. I think we differ. I did not hear I just unmuted you, matter of fact, today. Your
Oh,
stories. I had forgot, and then I
damn.
kept like I seen when your line dropped, so I was like commenting and stuff, and then I was like, oh shoot, I never unmuted him, and so I
Ain't that
went to
your
do that
friend?
because
Ain't that
okay,
your friend?
whoa, it was
Ain't
the
this your
Nicki. Whoa, relax. It was the Nicki thing.
Well, the highlight is still on my thing, so you can
Yeah,
still
so I
look.
have to look at it. So okay, so to wrap this up, to not make it long for me, I enjoy myself. I feel like in certain artists, I don't look for certain things. I think you get what you get when you know the person you're going to see. I didn't show up to the venue. When I got there in time enough to get a drink, and by time they were like, "Thank you," the lights were going down and she was coming up. Like by the time I got to my seat, I'm the best was playing. So like I didn't have to complain about waiting a long time and why are you not up and whatever. I don't get
What
to
time does she go on?
I think like a little bit before 10, maybe like 9:50, somewhere around there, somewhere around that spot. Cause I didn't leave my house until 9. Y'all know Harlem getting 34th Street. So it's like real quick. Um, so like when she came out, I thought her intro was awesome. I'm the best for me. It's one of my
Awesome.
favorite songs because it takes me back that I remember when I went in Target and bought Pink Friday. I remember putting it in my car, blasting it,
Of
didn't
course.
know any song, and just was
So
like
hard.
in love
I
with I'm
do. I agree that that is a good opener. Now, I
yeah,
personally don't know the song. I mean, I do now, but like, I think that it's a good opener. Like,
no,
just
yeah,
the name of it alone, I'm the best.
I'm the
Like,
best. Yeah.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
opener.
And that was her first, like I've never seen her perform that. So it was like great.
Mhm.
So like yeah, I feel like for Nikki's standard, the little 1-2 count that she done, I think that was like for her because she doesn't do it. So I felt like mama's trying to give you a little something, pop, 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 cool, great, we love it. I look for my rap artists, especially in Nikki, just to stand in the center. Everybody else work, badass bitches, niggas on the stage, and she's standing there and just pop her shit. She can just do that for me, and we can just go bar for bar because I know the words that you spit in, and I will have a great time. I was feeling it. The crowd that I was with,
Bar
we
is in hell. That's what a bar is.
you said what?
The bar is in hell.
I just feel like it's different. I feel
And I
like
feel like
what we
people,
look for in artist development, what we look for in artist development and the world of content, I feel like we want to be fed more. Give me more. I want to see more. I want to see different. And you have people like you have people that I guess like Nikki that didn't grow up in that big old social media era. So it's like, bitch, who else was out there doing that?
well,
Like
that's why
y'all weren't asking these other MCs like Lil Kim wasn't out there giving y'all a 6 6 8 count when she was out there. She was doing her little move. Mary was doing her little move. But it's like now these new artists and now y'all want more and y'all want more development. And I just think,
Those girls were giving you choreo back then.
and I
Don't
who,
also I
those
who,
feel
girls were giving
like
you choreo.
who,
I
name them.
feel like even if they weren't right, like times have changed.
Right.
Artists
I
change,
agree.
performance has evolved.
I,
So as an artist, she should be developing her craft. I feel like it's a cop out when barbs are like, oh, well, Nicki's not a dancer. Nicki's not a performer. Oh, Nicki don't be dressing like that. Nicki's not a fashion girl. Oh, Nicki's not this. Nicki's not that. It's all just excuses for mediocre performances. Like,
just don't think I look
people
for the
responded
I
to when
just
I
think
was like, why is she sitting down? They were like, what you want her to do? Do an A count like Meg Thee Stallion? I'm like, actually, yes. I would like to see.
but that's the
I,
difference. It's
I would
like
like,
I just think
I would like
it's
to see
fine
that.
to be
I would like to see
two
effort.
different artists. It's
I
fine
would like to
to
see
get
some
you an
effort. I
A
would like to
count.
see a performance. If I just wanted to listen to Nicki rap, I could turn the song on in my car.
But you still paid your money to go see it.
I can.
It's just different. It's just different. Like Ice Spice, Sexy Red gets up there, shake that ass and twerk, and people live, and they're in this new genre. Lotto barely does 8 count. The only rap artist that's giving you dance move is probably Megan and maybe sometimes Cardi. The rest of the girls, they try to do their
Because
best.
they're raising the bar.
Yeah, she is, but I'm just saying every
They say
artist
the same
that's
thing
currently
about
out
Ice
there is
Spice.
doing what Megan's
Every time
doing,
Ice
and
Spice
I just think they're just two different artists. They're just two different artists.
every time
I
Ice
think it's
Spice
fine.
performs, they say the same thing. She has no stage presence.
I just think
Zero.
it's fine. I just think for me, just like if I went to go see Summer Walker, Summer Walker as being an R&B artist, people think her set is boring, that she gives nothing. She gives the same thing Jasmine Sullivan gives. But
She does
Jasmine Sullivan is, I've seen both of them in
You're not
concert.
gonna do
I've
that.
seen
You're not
Jasmine,
gonna
I've
do
seen
that.
Summer, I've seen her,
You're
I've seen
not gonna
Ella
do that.
May. And those girls are sitting there giving you vocals. That's what you go there for. If you want vocals plus dance moves, maybe you should go see Normani when she puts out an album.
No, ma'am.
That's who
The
you go see
series,
for
No,
that.
ma'am.
You're not
Let's
going
say
to
this.
see
Let's
Summer
say this.
you're
Walker,
not going. No. I'm not comparing
comparing
Summer
Summer
and
Walker to
No,
No, ma'am.
Jasmine Sullivan is
I'm
No, ma'am. You're not gonna
comparing.
do this.
I'm comparing John.
insane.
Okay, hold. Y'all got to calm
No,
down.
ma'am. You're not gonna do this.
You have to
Her
calm down.
playing a
Everybody has.
thousand
Insane comparison, sister.
Whoa.
right. Her is
No.
playing
No.
a
It's not a.
thousand instruments. Jasmine is also giving you choreo. She's
Jasmine
giving
is not giving you choreo. She's not
fashion.
giving you
You are
choreo.
not. Jasmine is giving you
Jasmine
choreo.
is not giving you
Yes, she
choreo.
is. Ella
No,
May is giving you her like the. So I'm gonna say this. I'm
they're
gonna say
not giving you choreo.
uh-uh.
If you want
I let,
choreo,
I
pick
let
out
you
the
talk.
girls you go see. You go see Normani. You
No,
go see those other
no,
R&B girls that are dancing. I'm not
that's not
going to
true.
a Summer Walker concert looking for Summer Walker to throw me an 8 count. I'm not going
She
to
is
see
now.
that. I'm not
But
going.
she
If
is now.
Jasmine throws an 8 count and she breaks down to the dance, I'm surprised. But that's not why I bought my ticket. I bought my ticket because I know that throat and I know she's going to sing. Like the mic is going to be on. That's why I bought that ticket. And
I
if she
think
does not
I
dance,
think the
I
difference.
Wait,
don't relate that to be that the
let me.
bar is low and there's no development. I just think there's
So
just two different artists.
No,
no,
and
no.
also let me just say this. This is my last thing. Summer Walker, her songs don't call for choreography. Nicki's do. And
Do they?
she's not dancing. Nicki's sitting on the steps
What
barefoot.
song calls for choreo that Nicki should throw an 8 count to? That she didn't do in like music videos.
Fuck the club up.
Well, we haven't even got a visual for that.
Look, there you go, making
But when
excuses.
I go see a performance live, I'm not looking for that. Now, maybe if I seen a video and she was giving me a dance move on a video, yeah, where is that now in this live version? Now I want to see it. But if you're not giving me a visual, yeah, the beat sounds like a 8 count can be thrown behind it. But I mean, I have nothing to go off there about except for what I would like to see. That's it. And and it's not knocking any of them.
Low.
Let me.
That's fine. That's fine if that's whomever's opinion. I'm just saying, in artists, I think when anything you go, wherever you go eat, whatever you kind of car you buy, kind of clothes you wear, whatever you do, I think you get and you know what you're getting. It's certain places that you go. If you don't go for a reason because you know when you get there to that place, these kind of things happen. You go here because this. If I go see this, and I'm already complaining about, I have this pre notion that she's going to
You
be
were just saying
boring.
that her excuse was there are no dance songs. Then I get you a dance song and you're like, oh, it's because there's no video out.
No, these are not excuses. No. These are not excuses. These are
Nicki's
like,
going to be dancing. That's what the girls
what?
have been saying. Oh, well, Nicki's not a dancer. So what do you expect? But
But
she should.
explain, okay, so for a person like you who was critical of her performance and how the bar is low, what made you, knowing that there could have been a chance that she was not going to give you the performance you were expecting, what still made you pay your money?
Because I was hoping for a good performance, and I
But
was extremely disappointed.
but when has she ever in the past shown you that she was giving you this?
Well,
That's
I've
what
never
I'm saying.
seen.
It'd have been different, like when Beyonce, and this to wrap it all up, and this is not to compare. I'm not
No,
comparing
'cause I still
this.
have
I'm
my.
not comparing Beyonce. This is wrap me up. When Beyonce first started her tour and she was hurting her ankle was hurting, and she wasn't throwing those 8 counts. The only reason why it spoke so much, or people were, calling it out, was because that's what we're used to. We're used to it in her videos, and we're used to it like, oh, we're going to get a full round performance. We're going to get on tour, we're going to get a visual, we're going to get dance moves, we're going to get looks, we're going to get everything. And since that equation of her performance was missing, it was called out. But when she got it together, it was like she never fell off. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can't remember a time I seen Nicki live that's what she was doing. So if I'm going to go see her in a performance, yeah, I would love for her to dance. I would love for her to get up there and do something like Megan is doing. Don't say I'm not.
Okay,
I would
yes,
love for her to
she
do it.
should
But if
evolve.
she
She
doesn't
should
do it,
grow
I'm
as an
also not leaving
artist.
the
To develop
performance
her
like,
artistry.
oh, it was
To
trash. The
develop
bar
her
is
stage
low. She
presence.
needs to hang it
It's
up.
just
Like, I'm not saying that.
she should evolve as an artist and grow as an artist. I don't think it's enough just to be like, oh, Nicki's not a dancer. Well, you should grow. You're on a world tour stage. You're selling out arenas. You should give the people a show. If someone wanted to just come and listen to you rap in the middle of the stage, you don't need to go on tour to do that, sis. So for everyone's like, oh, she's not a dancer. She's not a dancer. She should be. She should develop her artistry. She should practice. She should evolve as an artist.
And so to that point, what I was gonna say is, Summer Walker, she was not like doing that when she started out, but then she started working with Tiana Taylor. Her stage presence, like she worked on her stage presence. She found her lane. It's not like these crazy, like 8 counts or whatever. It's like a little doo wop pop, whatever, and it works. The same with Ella May. Ella May is like working the stage. Like I also saw Ella May. She's working the stage, but then when she do her little microphone choreo, it's like in her lane. But I'm sure she would much prefer to just sit down in the stool and sing. Jasmine Sullivan, same thing. Like
Victoria
when she
Monet, same
right,
thing.
like when
The
those
girls
girls
are
first
boom
started
cat
out,
cat. Like
exactly, like when those girls first started out, they were very much
even
so
Tamar is hitting 8 counts. The girls are boom cat cat. Like
right. The girls are giving you a
the girls are
performance.
making
They're working the
excuses for
stage.
Nicki. I'm
They're moving
sorry.
around. They're
Like the
doing
girls are dancing.
they're doing all the things. Like even Ari Lennox, like she always worked the stage of where she goes from left to right the whole time. But now she's like throwing in a little choreo in there too, but still working the stage. So like I get what you're saying. You don't go to a Nicki concert to see her in an 8 count or whatever, but there is room for like evolution. Like when you say like,
There's room
oh,
for
this is not what
growth.
you go for or whatever, like everybody needs to grow and evolve in some type
Yes,
of way.
as an artist. You can't keep doing the same thing, sister. Like you gotta evolve as an artist. Everyone should take notes from Beyonce. That is evolution. She didn't give the girls a whole nother genre. Okay?
All right, let's move along because Quiet Storm is a little.
I'm leaving it. I'm cool. I don't. No. That's different. Like I don't. No, I'm cool. I said I was cutting it off, so I made my last point. That was it.
Okay. All right. Well, moving along. What are we watching? What's on the TV? I
What
watched
are
X
we
Men
watching?
'97, of course.
You watching what?
Still
X Men
not watching that.
'97.
Yes. Well, yes.
The new
I
episode came
watched
out
it.
yesterday. It was a whole Jubilee episode.
Okay, that's enough. I don't watch
I
them
didn't tell you
on
what happened. I
Wednesdays.
just said it was a Jubilee episode. You can tell that from the title. What the fuck?
I haven't even seen that part.
All right, moving
Did you see the
along.
last episode?
Yes, I watch them on Saturday mornings.
Who was it? And you were like, something happened to her.
Storm.
So you saw what happened to Storm.
Yes.
It's just the man came and told him that he can help her get what she lost. So she lost her powers and he can help her get them back. That was it. People was like the episode was like No, they were talking about yesterday's episode with Snooze. I didn't think so many people dislike Jubilee. I love Jubilee.
Yeah, so I love Jubilee. She was like my first introduction to like that because of course, like when the show came out, she was the first character that you saw. So like I don't understand where the Jubilee hate is coming from. I will say the episode was very fast. Like it definitely went through like really fast because they wanted to give you like Jubilee storyline and then give you like the Storm storyline. But I did enjoy like giving Jubilee more character development other than just like the one little kid of like all the X-Men. So
Is Jubilee the one with the cards?
no,
No,
that's
that's
Gambit.
Gambit. Jubilee's the one with the yellow raincoat.
Yeah, Jubilation Lee.
So I'm watching not that. I feel like I'm in my white woman drama TV season. So I binged this show called Apple Never Falls.
Please don't tell me I haven't started it. I'm going to watch it.
You've been saying
Oh,
you're
okay.
gonna watch this for forever though.
No, I haven't. I just found out about it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it just came out maybe like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
you
watched.
I'm sorry, I'm confusing this with No Murders in the Building because you said you was gonna watch
Oh
that
yeah, I
first.
watched that. I finished it. I'm waiting on the new season.
Okay.
But don't you can talk about it. Just tell us like how you feel about it and that. Don't give me anything.
So I watched the entire thing over the weekend. It's like
Okay.
7 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's good. Again, it's like white woman drama. Like it has elements of like Gone Girl in there, like murder mystery, upper echelon white family drama. Um, so it's good. It's good. I will watch it.
Okay. Bet.
And then I started finally the morning show,
Ooh,
like
I'm trying to
season
start that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started that, which is also really good too.
Since you're on the topic of Apple TV, real quick, I think I want to watch. I think it's Palm Royale,
Okay, I
and
saw the ads for it.
then it's another one that I think's been out. It's about this woman in prison. It's another like if you look on their timeline, I think it's like of their top shows. It's probably like towards the back, breaking something along there. It's like a jail white woman type thing you might want to look into. I can't remember, but I'm going to look into that because I think people be sleeping on Apple TV drama. Apple TV really be having some good television shows sometimes. So like
Sometimes, like
sometimes, yeah,
Defending Jacob was Apple TV, right?
yes.
That was good.
That was the
That
show,
was
and they never brought that back, and it
we'll
was
never
so
bring it back. Well,
good.
they brought it back for season 2.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they did not. It's only one season of that.
Was the one season that good that I just I'm giving
Yes,
it?
it's only one season
I
of
just made that
season
up.
one, 2020, one season. Exactly, it was just that good, and they never did anything with it. Justice for Defending Jacob, literally, honestly. Bring it
Yeah.
on. But we all are watching Potomac, right?
Yes.
So, um, yeah, how do we feel? I'm going to give my little input and get out the way. So, who do I start with? Candace and
I mean,
Giselle. I'll
we can
start with
always
Candace.
start with Candace. I feel like part one was all about Candace, so that's the perfect place to start.
So Candace and Giselle. About their relationship, I felt like their relationship had the real effect on the show. I felt like if you have Giselle who has a strong team behind her as far as i.e. Ashley, Robin, Mia, and now NECA, then you have Candace with Wendy and Karen trying to play that fence, but we all know Karen is really over here, which is fine. She can play that. I just feel like both of them together collectively was the biggest part of why the show didn't work and um the unwillingness to like work together, I guess it was, or to like mend that fence. But I also feel like Giselle has been getting away with a lot of things for so long. Um, I'm not talking about from a colorist standpoint. I'm talking about for just like opening her mouth and just saying anything she wants to say, dragging people's families and stuff into it. And I think her biggest test was Monique. Like Monique brought receipts, she brought challenges, she brought names, she brought everything. Nobody had actually ever challenged Giselle like that with actual facts. And I feel like Candace and their relationship, as far as like when Andy was talking to her about how did she feel about the demise of her and Robin's relationship, how Giselle started laughing and was like, "Oh, not the tears." I agree with just with Candace being like, "You cannot equate my what me and your conflict is to the fact that you're getting death threats and the fact that nobody liking you all of a sudden. Like you say these things, and I believe like when you bring someone's family, marriage, husband, and you use an allegation like that heavy of they made me and I was locked in a room and they forced me. When you use certain words like that, it triggers a certain response that if you continue with this narrative and we've seen it on TV and everybody has now seen it because it is a year later after that. So you had a season to come back and be like, okay, it was certain things that were said that shouldn't have been said or whatever. That never happened. With the whole Mia situation, which is going to come up in second part. I just feel like she's playing my guy Gordon. I don't like it. I feel like this fairy tale that she is wrapped up in, although I hope love is love and you can determine who loves who and how it hits you and who you fall in love with. But I just feel like the way this whole thing is playing out, even with her son and the questioning, I just feel like if you and your husband had rules and he like gave you not permission, but y'all had these rules that he know he couldn't do what he wanted to do or needed to do for you as a man, and you know you had needs and he was still allowing you to go fulfill your needs because he couldn't do it at the time. I feel like if y'all agreed to that, like respect the man and his boundaries. Like if you felt like you wanted to do like that rule or whatever rules he put in place that you could no longer agree with that, I felt like that should have been the exit. Um Other than that, that's it. Everybody, Karen looked good, Karen looked great, and she read Robin when she told her that bitch, I'm not the one. I can remember the people I've been with. Juan
Hey, you talking about
cannot.
one? You talking about one?
That can be Juan. That's my little take on Potomac.
You ate that up. You've been doing real good with your synopsises lately.
Oh,
Good
look at
job.
that. So what about how about y'all?
Yeah, I agree with you with the Candace and Giselle thing. I think Giselle has definitely gotten away with a whole lot over these last seasons, like on the show. And it's like the moment that like she is called out, it's always like a deflection of like, oh no, I'm not talking about people's families or oh no, whatever. Um, but like to Candace's point, like, Chris lost his job behind that and like, all of these other things. So I can understand like where that hurt comes from. But I think like Giselle wants to hold on to like Robin so bad as like her rock in her corner that's where that laugh came from. Like, so that she can go back and talk to Robin later and be like, girl, you see that bitch trying to cry when she was talking about X, Y, and Z or whatever. Like, I think that's what that laugh was for. Because I think in a sense, you're kind of like starting to see the cracks a little bit between Giselle and Robin's like friendship, and Robin is trying to find a backbone and trying to find, her or whatever. Like you can kind of like see that because like with Juan kind of just leaving her alone to like deal with this, shit, and Giselle isn't really like on her side in it. I feel like she's kind of like starting to see those cracks within like the friendship, and I think Giselle doing the things that she was doing to Candace was more so to kind of like keep Robin in her back pocket. But we know Robin is out now, so that part don't really matter. Um, and then the Mia thing, I'm not interested anymore. Honestly, like I have no comments on the Mia thing. I agree with you. I think they had an arrangement. Mia knew the rules or the guidelines of like that arrangement or whatever. And like if you have and I asked the question on our Instagram of just like, when you feel like you're not getting fulfilled sexually, like what should you do or whatever. I think for me personally, like I would probably like leave it, right? So if you felt that you were like developing these feelings more for this man or whatever, when it was like really an arrangement with you and your husband, that should have been your exit. But it's like now you've like it's went on like all of this time and it's got like real messy and real complicated, and now you're trying to make it look like Gordon wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. But it's like from what I've gathered, it seems like Gordon knew he couldn't fulfill everything that he needed to as a husband, so that's why he put these parameters in place, and then you went and like overstepped that in a sense. So I don't have nothing to say about Mia really, I mean, although I just said a lot, but yeah. Um, the reunion part one, it's not giving much, but yeah. 6 Poppy, close us out.
Um, I mean, I agree. It didn't really give much. It was kind of a snooze fest for me. Um, I don't really have any deep thoughts about Giselle, Candace, or Robin. I don't really care. They're all a chop to me. When Giselle was like falling out laughing, I was just
Childish.
I was just, and it wasn't funny. No one else was laughing. And she's like clapping, like ah, like throwing her head back, and I'm just like, girl, it's not that funny. But I do think Candace can be very dramatic with the crying all the time. So I'm not really like on Candace's side either. I'm like, I don't.
But can I just say that that's actually her? Like I met her last year, and like when after like her show and like people were walking up, when I tell you that girl cried like 10 times, like I really think she is really just that dramatic. Like yes, it is over the top, but like that girl literally cried like 10 times over the course of like 2 hours. Like literally cried.
I don't know because I met her as well. I worked her booth at BravoCon, so I mean, she didn't really give me that, and I don't want to say she's acting, but it's just like, okay, well, we get it. Like, pass her the triangle. Like, I don't know. It's just like Andy was just like, so how do we mend this? And she's like, and it's just like, okay, girl, like. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts. I'm glad she's leaving. I hope that she has a healthy baby because I feel like that's what she really wants. And she's in a toxic environment, so I think by removing herself, that would be
So you feel like
advantageous
she's
for
looking
her.
for
I feel like that's what she should do. Robin, she can go too. She's a chop. Juan is a chop. He never shows up to support her, never
trash.
backs her up. They can go. Giselle, I feel like she's Bravo's darling. Like, I feel like she's not going anywhere. She gets away with everything. So it's like, as many people hate her, like, I don't see her going anywhere.
Yeah.
Mia, I feel like they had an open marriage and it just went wrong. Like, I don't think it's no deep thing. Like, I feel like they had an open marriage. They were having threesomes. He was probably fucking bitches on the side. She had a man on the side, fell in love with the man, going around.
His piece wasn't working.
And
Right, his dick wasn't working.
well, she said they were having threesomes in the beginning, and that's when she was like, "I don't know if this is the person I want to marry." That's what Andy said, because Andy was like, "Well, how long?" This is on Watch What Happens Live. He was like, "How long has the affair been going on?" And she was like, "Well, it started before they got married." And Andy was like, "Well, why did you marry him?" And she was like, "Because she loved him." But then she started hooking up with, what is the DJ's name? Whatever his name is. She started hooking up with him again.
He has a radio personality.
Okay. And he was like, well, why did you start hooking up with him again? And she was like, because I didn't know if Gordon was the person I wanted to marry because he wanted to have threesomes all the time. And so that's why she went back to the DJ. So it's like, it happens. People be in open marriages, shit went wrong, the money ran out, and she got a new dude. Like, she probably stayed with Gordon for all that time because they got all them kids. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's done. It's a wrap. Next.
Question for y'all. So I saw this comment where they were talking about like Juan Dixon is the worst husband in the history of house husbands. And so somebody commented and was like, no, Martell is. And so I said and thought about it. I was like, the difference between Martell and Juan is Martell didn't let, what was her name? Melody. He didn't let Melody like sit there and like take all of his heat for the shit that he did. Like at least you were able to put Martell in the hot seat. Whereas like Juan won't show up to anything and won't be accountable for anything. So like thinking about like the things that they've done, who's worse, Martell or Juan?
Well, Martell had a baby, so I feel like that trumps anything Juan has done. Like Martell had a whole baby while they were married. So,
and then blamed her for it.
Right. It was like, yeah, Martell with his fine self. Ooh, but yeah, he's trash.
Here she go. Right.
As fine as hell, but yeah, no, like he is no.
You're into.
Moving along. Did y'all watch the new episode of Popping the Balloon, the gay version?
Yes. I feel like we have lost the plot. And the
Yes.
girls are just going in there to be vicious. And it's not even, I don't want to say it's not entertaining because it is very funny. But I feel like the girls are just going on there to be mean. And it's like,
The girls are going on for a
catty
soundbite.
mean. Like, you're talking about people's shoes. You're talking about the way someone's dressed. You're telling somebody they look old. You're telling somebody they're bottom. You can't see them topping you. Like, the girls are just on there being mean. And I feel like the plot is gone. Like, it's not about finding a connection or finding a romantic interest and possibly leaving with someone. Like, the girls are coming on there to just read each other.
Yeah, because like my whole thing is like, okay, I get it. Like somebody, you pop the balloon immediately if somebody isn't physically attractive to you, right? But then it's like the ones that they do find attractive, they see like a little switch or like how they holding this or whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna pop the balloon because of this, or I don't like his shoes and this and that. But it's like you want to get to know somebody more than just the physical, right? So like, why not give them time to talk about themselves and what they're doing and what they got going on? So I agree with you. Like the
Because they
girls,
don't.
right?
That's
The
that's
girls
the
just
thing.
be
They're
going on there.
literally basing it off of how you look, how
Yeah,
feminine you are, how old you look, how young you look, what shoes you have on. Like one of the boys was like, "Oh, this is Bottega Veneta. Like you not into the Bottega? Oh, okay." Like because somebody had popped a balloon for him, and it was like, "I don't like your shirt." He was like, "This is Bottega Veneta." Like that's just like, no,
it's
girls, no.
terrible. We're lost. The girls are lost.
Yeah, it's like not even like good anymore. Like the first one, while it was messy, it was still like you still
Interesting.
felt like the girls were interested in trying to find something and make a connection. Now the girls are just, and then if somebody popped their balloon, like the person ready to read you down, like that you must have
Right.
made a
Like
big fight.
I did appreciate one of the boys from this last episode, like, the one that was like, oh, I can't see you topping me or whatever. Like, the boy threw him so much shade, but he was like, I'm not going to give you the shade that you gave me back or whatever. Like, I think you are handsome, blah, blah,
That was
blah.
the one that had the suit on, right?
Yeah, yeah. He was like,
Loved him.
right. He was like,
Loved him. So mature.
yeah, he was like, I do think you are handsome. I'm not going to give you the same shade that you gave me back. But then as he's saying that, the other girls are popping their balloons for him not reading her back for like,
But again,
it's
those
just like,
girls
it's
were
crazy.
ridiculous. One boy popped his balloon because he was like, "You're a realtor, and all realtors are liars. They're trying to like sell you a dream or something." So that's why I popped my balloon. It's like
You seen the one that he was like, "You're
it's
not going."
like
He was like, "I don't." He
turn
was
it
like, "I
on.
kissed." He was like, "I kissed a lot of frogs," and he was like, "I popped my balloon because you weren't going to, you weren't going to relate me to no reptile."
Okay.
And one boy was like, "I like princess treatment. Like I don't feel like you can give me princess treatment, so I'm popping my balloon." It's like it's time
Yeah,
to take a
sorry you brought
stance against the LGBT. It's time to
sorry
take
you
a
brought it
stance.
up. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Um so I'm sure you guys have seen like all the tweets, the memes and the videos of like Ramonte and his rant. It all
Excuse me,
started
ma'am.
it all
That's what I
started
know him from all his videos. When he's like, "Excuse me, ma'am."
I actually did not like really watch like any of his videos, so like I had to do like a little dive to figure out who he was. So that's just me.
He comes
But
up all the time on my For You page, so that speaks to
well,
what I'm watching on
exactly,
TikTok. But
exactly.
I see all his videos.
Well, the only reason I saw like the birthday trip was because I follow DeAndre on TikTok, the DeAndre girl. But anyway,
Well, the
um,
only video I came across of his birthday was when they was bouncing that ass on the yacht.
on the fucking dirt
Oh,
No,
bike.
but you seen his fight video in the parking lot.
no, no, no. I'm talking about over the weekend when they were doing their birthday thing. I
Yeah.
didn't know. I didn't know anything about their like birthday weekend. That's the only video I seen until today when the Essence thing. Well, not today, but when that came out, and then everything else came out, and then those videos and stuff. Yeah, I started sending them. That's when I started noticing.
I I was on his side when the Essence article came out
Okay,
because
tell the people about the Essence article that may not know what it said.
the
Give a little
Essence article was basically highlighting his trip and saying it was a viral trip. It went viral, and that more brands should work with Raymonte. The trip should be a sponsored trip. He should have more brand deals than he does. And
Well,
so,
it said more brands should work with people showing their authentic selves.
then Raymonte tweeted and was like, y'all are basically gaslighting me because y'all don't invite me to anything, and neither does BET and publications like that.
right.
And so Essence responded and was like, "Oh, we're super disappointed. We were trying to highlight you." And he was giving like, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah.
And the takeaway was like, y'all are part of the problem rather than part of the solution, which I agree with. Like, I could see how he came to that conclusion. Like, y'all highlighting me, but you're not doing anything to, you know,
For right.
for me.
Like you are the
Well,
you are the big brand.
I could also see how Essence could be like, well, we're highlighting you, so that's going to bring you a bigger audience and put you on more people's radar that you might not have been on because maybe the typical Essence reader doesn't know who Remonte is. So I could see how Essence thought like, oh, maybe we're doing something good for him. But I could also see how he could be like, fuck y'all gaslighting me.
Yeah.
So I see both sides, but I was like, okay, kudos for Remonte for, saying that. Yeah.
But I think like so my thing about like the Essence article, I think like yes, highlighting him is great or whatever, but you should have been the first brand to then take action, right? Because you are the bigger brand. So it's just like, there should have been some type
He's
of
bigger than
action.
Essence.
No, I'm just saying, like Essence being like, bigger brands should take note and like, sponsor people on trips showing their authentic sales, blah, blah, blah. But like in my mind, like Essence, you are a big brand. Like you are the bigger brand. So like that was your opportunity not only to highlight him and talk about that, but then also put some action behind it of like, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z and kind of like start that trend instead of trying to call other brands out to then, that be their call to action to do something for him. So I get what
Somebody
he
was like, somebody tweeted us like, "Will he want to be invited to the Essence Women's Brunch?"
But no, I get what he's saying of just like that could have been Essence's opportunity to then do something with him for him that could have came with something other than just like, oh, because at the end of the day, like that is gonna bring traffic to y'all. Like that doesn't really benefit me or whatever. Cause like how many people are actually gonna go and do the research to find Ramonte and like look at his videos and like all of that? Like the people that are reading Essence, it's not like, you know, it's gonna really like bring people his way in a sense. So I get where like his frustration kind of like came from with that. It was just like y'all could have
I
like done
also think he could have like a sense of entitlement, and I feel like that comes with
100%.
like popularity and notoriety. Like, y'all owe me this, or y'all should be doing this for me, or like, of course I should have this because I'm this. And so I think that's another thing like on its own because it's like, why do you feel like that? Because you have 2 million followers, you feel like you should have all these things. And so
So
I think that's where he kind of lost me when the next day it was comparing himself to Cardi B and saying
yes,
like, I act ghetto and Cardi. No, he was saying he's not ghetto.
right. He
And
said
he
he's
was
not
saying
ghetto.
people
And
like Cardi B who are not black blow up for acting ghetto. And he just lost me there because it's like you're comparing yourself to Cardi B.
yeah,
And
A-list celebrity.
it's like, why are you comparing yourself to Cardi B? Like, what is your talent? Like, no shade. Like, what is your talent? What do you do? Like, Cardi B is a rapper. Cardi B is an artist. Like,
She
you
doing A
don't have a talent, or not like a like we don't know what it is. Anybody can have a talent, but like, what is your talent? Like, you're popular because of the videos you make, which is great, but like, why are you comparing yourself to someone like Cardi B? So that's kind of where he lost me. And then it was the whole like I'm not ghetto, I'm not ghetto.
But you were literally just shaking your ass in Tulum on the back of a motherfucking
You were literally fighting in a parking lot like
fighting in the parking lot, like
last
all
week.
thing. Like it's just yeah, like
It's so, and it's not like I'm like, oh, he's ghetto, he shouldn't have brand deals. But I think if part of your platform is going to be like me being my authentic self, you need to embrace all sides of that because it's a little ghetto in you, whether you want to admit it or not. Like you got some hood tendencies, and as someone that's promoting being your authentic self, you should embrace that.
yeah. And I think again, I agree because he lost me like day two of the rant as well of like comparing himself to Cardi. Like the response to Essence, perfect, spot on. I think it was great. But then the comparison to Cardi just it did not resonate with me. Like I saw where you were trying to go, but then it's also like again, she is a recording artist. She is, out here doing shows. Again,
If
she's
anything, he should have compared himself to that little Spanish boy that be acting like a black girl. His
oh,
name
he's
is like
blocked. I know who you're talking about. She's blocked.
Lowano or Larondo or something, Ramo,
Yeah,
whatever. He should compare himself to him because that is somebody with no talent but got popular acting like a black girl, and he's Spanish.
yeah,
I don't know what his ethnicity is. No shade to nobody, but like he got popular for acting like a ghetto black girl. Like
yeah.
he should have compared himself to that person instead of Cardi.
Yeah, I don't understand the Cardi comparison. I don't know. Like, I would say that it was like an easy target in a sense, or maybe he knew, like, the type of backlash it was going to have or the type of like engagement it was going to get to like compare himself to Cardi. I don't think he necessarily thought that she was going to be the person to respond. But I think he's like,
And I
whatever he
think
wanted to accomplish, it's happening because we're talking about it. Like, we're
yeah.
having this conversation
And I,
about it.
and
Like,
I think that it leads to the next part of it. Like, is he an influencer or is he a
I saw
content
that too.
creator or is he a internet personality? Like I believe you can be whatever you want to be. Like whatever you want to be, you should be it. Whatever you say you are, fine, girl. I don't care. But I'm like, do I think that he's an influencer? I don't know. If I had to label it, I would say he's more of like a content creator.
Yeah, same. Because I don't see what the influence is, right? Like, I wasn't being like, "Oh, I need to plan my trip to Tulum," or like, other than that,
He's
like
been there,
that's
done that show.
right, exactly. So it's just like I don't know what he's influencing, but I think like when I did my little dive and like saw his videos, he's funny, he's entertaining, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would look at that as more of a content creator. But if he was to like put an ad on one of his videos or something like that, I'm not running to buy it.
But I do feel like if he has an audience and then he convinces the audience to buy something, that is influencing. So if we look at it from a literal definition, it's
Yeah.
like, sure, you're an influencer.
But
But
I won't be influenced to buy anything that he's selling, like personally. So like in my eye, I just look at it as content creation, like because there's people again, me going through TikTok. There's people who I follow on TikTok because you're gonna make me laugh, you're gonna give me information or whatever. But then there's other people that I follow, and it's okay, I like that thing that you got on, and like now you got a partnership with this brand. Let me go click this thing and buy it. Or I saw you go to this restaurant here in Atlanta or whatever. You had a good experience and you gave it tens, blah blah blah. Let me go try it as well. So I think there's two sides to it of like, yes, like I think a lot of content creators may see themselves as influencers, but it's like if you're not influencing people to then go and spend money or go and get something or go and try to achieve or get what you got, then are you really influencing? Like, because there's also some people who I follow where when I see paid partnership at the bottom and it's like they start trying to sell me something, I'm like, okay, girl, I don't want this. Like, I'm not interested in getting this thing. So that's just my two little cents.
yeah, I wish him the best. I by no means want to bash him or down him. I think him and all those girls, the DeAndre boy and the other one,
Malik McIntyre.
I think if they have the audience and they have the followers and all that comes with it, I think that's great. Like, so I'm not trying to like take away from anything he's doing. I just think that he played his hand wrong with the whole
100%.
Cardi thing and that whole conversation. And I do think, I mean, he has 2 million followers, so it's like you're influencing somebody. Somebody looks up to you. Somebody admires you. Like it ain't me, but somebody admires you. Someone loves your content. Someone loves what you're doing. So just for that, you should keep going. All it takes is one person to support you, bitch. Like one
Yeah.
person, you to influence one person, and you're an influencer. Um, so yeah, I think we should, you know, let the girls be whatever they want to be. If she want to be the influencer girl, then you be influencer.
Listen, she say she's trying to get more brand deals and like all of that. So
And I hope she gets them. I hope
I wish her
I
nothing
hope
but
she gets them.
the all right.
Quiet Storm, you have nothing to add about Raymonte?
Yeah, I didn't know who he was. Like I seen his videos, and so I was late to the whole conversation. I just seen I saw Cardi's response first, and then I was like, "Who is she talking to?" And then that's when, and then the
Yeah.
whole Ice Spice Cardi and all that happened. So
Yeah.
So I think we all watch the Jerrod Carmichael show. We
I
all
watched
watched it, right?
I watched the clip on Twitter. I got what I need.
This show is 20 minutes. You could have watched.
No, not interested.
So the big takeaway from the show is he is in love with Tyler, the Creator, who is his best friend, who is also 33. I don't know why I thought he was like in his 20s.
who?
Tyler, the Creator,
Oh,
33. I mean, even the way he responded to the conversation was very immature. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, was it immature or did it come from a place of
nervousness?
like, I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to feel. It's awkward. We're doing this in front of cameras because I also heard that he didn't know or didn't want to have the conversation on camera.
well, I feel like when Jerrod told him and he responded with a voice note like, ha ha ha, you stupid bitch. I feel like that was very immature.
But that also told you
and
everything.
then I
It showed you where he thought their relationship was. Like, we're like brothers. We're like, and that's what he was like. He was like, we're brothers, like brothers. Like,
I understand that, but someone that you consider your best friend that you're close to expresses their love for you, and your response is "ha ha ha, you stupid bitch," and then to go,
you would do that. You would be the person to do
let
that.
me
You take
finish.
nothing serious
Let me
if
finish.
somebody was to text you and say something like that.
Let me finish my sentence. So he says, "Ha ha, you stupid bitch," and then ghosts him for months.
Okay, not that part,
Your
but I'm
best
talking about
friend. That's
the
how you
larger
would respond
part.
to your best friend. That shows me like a lack of maturity because even if the initial shock was to laugh, because I would probably laugh because I laugh at everything, but I would at some point have a conversation with you with the hopes of letting you know how I feel and us continuing to be friends. He literally ghosted him for months. And then the boy was like, come to the Emmys with me. And he was still ghosting him like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm busy. So then, as a final straw, he's like, let's have this conversation. So nowhere ever during any of this did Tyler be like, show compassion, show understanding, or have a conversation. Just be like, I ain't feeling you that way. And even when they were having the conversation face to face, he's like, oh, I got to fart. Oh, I got to go. Oh, where's the food at? All right, see you later, homie. Like,
I think
I get it.
how are you 35 years old and can't even have a conversation with someone that you consider your best friend?
That should have added 2 years onto it. Okay, so I'm gonna
bitch. No.
I'm gonna try to put myself in Tyler's shoes. I don't agree with how he responded at all. I wouldn't do that. But I think like in his mind, maybe it's like, okay, if I try to like play this off or I like, joke around with it, maybe he'll see like, no, we're not there. Like you my homie or whatever. And I think like maybe in a sense the ghosting thing was like, okay, let's give us some distance for a minute and then let's try to like circle back to it. But it's like now we're circling back to it and we're picking up where we left off, and now we have cameras in here to like facilitate this conversation, and I'm still not taking it serious. Like I don't because like I don't look at you in that way. I don't want to look at you in that way. Like, you
So
know,
why
you're
not
my
just say that?
out. Listen, again, trying to play devil's advocate.
Like, why not just say that?
I don't think
You
it's fair.
never had nobody tell you they like you, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm not interested."
I mean, he maybe not had nobody tell. I mean, that's like different. It's like your best friend, like someone he considers your brother, coming to you telling you like, "Bro, I'm in love with you. Like, I want to be more than brothers with you." You can't tell nobody how to respond like that. Like, yeah, the conversation needs to be had, be mature, whatever. But I mean, I also can be like, "Oh wow, you ran away and ignore." Like, bitch, I don't know how to handle the information I just received. I don't know how close their relationship was. Brothers is a word that people, yes, loosely throw out there when comparing friends, so we could take it at face value and be like, oh, they were just friends. We don't know the extent of their relationship, so however extensive their relationship could have been, then for you to come out and confess your love for me, like, I'm completely thrown off right now. Like, yeah, maybe I need some time, and those words that I need to tell you, I'm not finding at this moment. I guess whenever the time came and whenever this was that happened compared to the time he told him, and the conversation came back up, you got the same response, because it's like, either I don't know either one how to tell you that this is not what I want, because now I'm about to lose, or now I'm looking at my brother different, or I don't even want to go down that road, or I don't want people to know this about me, or I don't want this part of my life, or maybe this part of my life I have not even dealt with yet. Like, has Tyler even said to himself that he likes niggas?
He has,
Yes,
he does not like. Let's be clear, he does not like niggas.
he's
He
very
likes
open as a bisexual.
as
I
a
feel like you're
bisexual
just
man.
making excuses for him.
Right.
No, it's not excuses. I'm just saying, we okay. So we got to stop using that word excuse. I don't think everything.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think
maybe he
everything.
hasn't addressed this part of himself
Yeah,
yet.
like you cannot. That's just like that's you cannot tell anybody how to communicate. My level of communication might not be your level of communication. That doesn't make me immature. That just makes me, I'm not on your level of communication. I'm sorry that in the moment that you confess your
That
love for
is a
me,
lack of
I'm
maturity.
not ready. I'm sorry that I'm not ready to have that conversation in that moment with you at that exact moment, because you're my best friend. It's some, oh well, you need to have that conversation with me because we're best friends. Yeah, because we best friends and you just told me you were in love with me. I need a minute. Now, granted,
Wait a minute, it took 3 months.
should that minute have took a month? Should it took 2 years?
It took three.
So to me, I can say no. To me, I can say no. I'm not him. I can't put what I would do on someone else. I'm not them. I'm not their relationship. I'm not in their friendship. I don't know what that looks like. So that's not an excuse. It's just like Jackson was like playing devil's advocate to be like, yeah, in our grown age, we'd be like, all right, this is something we need to deal with. This was like a brother, and I'm not going to go a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without like handling it. So let's us handle it. But there's people out in the real world that probably has went through this situation, who probably has not talked to their friend, or probably cut their friend off because of some situations like that. So
That's
it's always,
avoidance. That's also a lack of maturity. That's what I'm. That's my original point. Like, I don't know the man, so I don't know what he was thinking. But my observation is that is an immature response to someone that is you consider a brother, express their love for you. You call them a stupid bitch. Don't talk to them for 3 months. They invite you to the Emmys that you're nominated at, which is a huge deal. He end up winning, and you say, "I can't. I'm busy," and then don't talk to them again. And then you finally meet up with this person that's your brother face to face, and your only response is, "Excuse me, I have to fart. And where's the food that I ordered?"
I
That
can't,
is
like,
an immature person.
again, how we can communicate and how we can see someone else. I just
That's
don't think
someone
it's the
who's
same.
using
I just
avoidance
don't think it's the same
tactics,
response. I
and
just
that's
don't think
someone
it's
who
the same
lacks
response.
intelligence as well.
Mm,
I mean, I'm just saying.
girls, the girls are fighting.
I'm not
Well,
No,
anyways,
I'm not. I'm not fighting because I don't.
fighting.
I don't know either one of them, and that's just my observation.
Right, like we're on the outside looking in, drawing
Like,
all these like, oh, he's unintelligent.
like
He lacks communication. He's not intelligent. He's not smart. And it's just, I guess, coming from me as a person that's an introvert, that does not show emotion, that does not show feelings, that does not express feelings. If someone were to say something like that to me, I don't know in my awkward stage how I would respond. Like, I don't know how I respond. I would play it off and laugh. I would play it off and be like, let me just let that breathe again. Would
think
that
how you would respond though. It doesn't have to happen to you for you to know how you would respond.
I think it does. I
You
don't I
missed
don't
this
think I can just walk
conversation.
into anything and be like, I'm ready to handle it in the exact moment when it happens. I don't
So if
think
I
that's
were to ask you, how would you respond in that situation? Your answer would be you don't know.
if you were to say something like like he said to him, I would
No,
laugh and be like,
I'm saying, how would you respond in that situation? I'm asking you that. How would you
how would
respond?
I wouldn't know how I respond. And that just we're on two, and it's fine to be on different levels of communication, friend. Like if you are I think you express yourself as being a Cancer, as someone who handles situations that when they happen, that's fine if that's
It's not
you.
about when it happened.
Or
It's not,
just handle situations,
I would
period. I
never,
just
if
think
I
that
have a best friend, that would be like one of you saying that to me, and I'd not talk to you for 3 months. That does you even saying it out loud, it doesn't make sense. That would be like your best friend coming to you expressing something and me being like, oh, you a stupid bitch, and not talk to you for 3 months.
again, I agreed with the
That doesn't
timing.
even
I agreed with the
listen.
timing being
Turn it
long.
on.
I
Like
agreed with
let's
the
use our girly
timing.
here.
I
Like
agreed with the
we're
timing
adults.
being
We're
long. I
in our
agreed
mid
that it could
30s,
not have took
closer
him
to 40. Like
3 months
just have a
to talk
conversation and
about
say,
the conversation. I agreed with all those things. I agreed with you. I agreed with you. It should not have took him 3 months to come to his brother and be like, all right, I had some time. This is how I feel, and this is how I need to address the situation. All I'm saying is, however long it should have taken, I guess not 3 months, but however long it should have took for him to come together with his emotions, I guess he should have handled it. I mean, I get it. Like
he
again,
still hasn't come to his
I
emotions.
don't. I agree with you. This is me giving you another prospect on how it looks. I too agree. You should have came to your brother and said something to him. I agree. This is not me combating with you. I agree.
No,
Let me
you are
just
making excuses saying maybe he's not
Yes,
comfortable
we
with
have
that
to
part of
stop
his
using
life.
the word excuse. It's
That's
not
what
an
they
excuse to have
are.
to do.
Saying he's not comfortable.
Excuses are not equate to a different opinion. That's not me having an excuse.
You said he's not
That's just me
comfortable with
seeing it
that
different. It's
part of his
also
life.
me
That's
seeing
not true.
Gerard's part, and it's me seeing Tyler's part. And there's nothing wrong with seeing both parts. And I'm telling you, with seeing both parts, I still agree that he should have handled the situation differently. But I
Right.
can also understand.
Right, but we can't make excuses when it's not accurate. You saying that he responded that way because he could possibly not be comfortable with who he is or
I
comfortable
said he
sharing
could
that.
possibly
Let me
had
finish. Let me
responded
finish.
that
You're
way.
saying he could have possibly not responded because he's not comfortable with who he is or comfortable with that aspect of his life. It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
true.
I didn't know Tyler had came out like that. I don't keep up with these
Openly
people's lives
bisexual
like
and
that.
openly dates white men. So that's what I'm saying. It's an excuse, and it's not a valid excuse because it's not true. So that's what I'm saying. Like, stop making excuses.
That's not an excuse. We just disagree, and that's fine. It's okay.
Well, we
It's
don't disagree on him being bisexual because that's a fact. That's not
well,
my.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until today. That's why I was
Right,
like,
so
oh,
you didn't do your prerequisite research.
yeah, but I just disagree with people's level of communicating with anyone should be on the same level as the person that you're communicating with. Like if I'm not on the person's level that I'm communicating with, I shouldn't be chastised because I didn't come to you and address it in a manner or in a time frame you deem sufficient enough, whatever that time frame was. It could have been the next day, 2 days, 3 days, in the same minute, 30 minutes. Like I just that's all I'm saying. I just can't tell anyone how to navigate their feelings and then how to express their feelings to the person that gave them any information. But I also agree that if my best friend expressed something so near to them that was on them, it does warrant a response, a timely response. It warrants you to do say something so my brother or my friend isn't out there with these feelings and that I'm just blowing him off. So like that's where I can see both sides. And the only side I see for Tyler was just like communication as far as like not knowing what to say and when he didn't say it in a sufficient time frame enough. That's it.
Tyler was out here like, "Where's my food? You want to try something? I got a
and
fart."
then farted.
And then went on the balcony and farted, which is
Yeah, so I
very.
didn't know Jerrod had a show. I didn't know he had a show dating men on Grinder. I didn't know he had a show confessing. I didn't know he confessed his love to Tyler. Like all of this stuff is literally news to me. Like I knew he had done this special, his coming out special. I think on Netflix, HBO, something like that. Like I knew that in his pussy fur collar coat that he had on.
Yes.
I saw all of that part,
It
but
was
I
a
did
nice fur coat. I mean, it
I
didn't
did
really make
that
sense for
part.
the movie,
I
but it
didn't see.
was a very
I
good
didn't. I think I heard about his show, but I never really watched like the episode. So like the information I'm finding out about how he's navigating life now is news to me.
So he also, after being rejected and being ghosted by his best friend, he was obviously distraught. And so his way of coping was inviting grinder dates over. And all of the dates were white men. And in one particular scene, he was like sucking the guy's toes. And so the Twitter think pieces were saying, like, why do these black Hollywood men date white men? And then the irony of him confessing his love for Tyler is that Tyler also dates white men. So it's like they wouldn't have even been able to be together romantically because they both like white men.
So he shouldn't have said nothing anyway. It's like no.
And then they were saying that the guy, Steve Lacy, who is also another black artist who only dates white men, and he was saying that he dates white men because black men are like his brothers to him. Like it's like dating a family member to him, like dating a brother. And so I low key feel like that's what Tyler was alluding to when he was like, "Oh, you're like a brother to me." Like, and so yeah, there's been a lot of discourse about black men dating white men and why they do it, and
How
yeah.
much
So when maybe we should start with, has anyone dated a white man before?
I went on a date with a white man.
So you dated a white man.
Now I went on a one date, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. It's
Okay,
black.
so what are your thoughts on? Let's start with the black men who only date white men. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
So my thing, it's okay. So I don't have an issue with interracial dating and relationships and things like that. My issue is a lot of times it comes from a place of tearing down another side to uplift another side, right? We see it all the time with black men who only date white women. And they're like, black women did this, and black women used to treat me like this, and black women is this, and black women too ghetto, blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of times, especially like within Hollywood, we're seeing the same things, them saying the same thing. So it's either a thing of like, oh, I can't see myself dating like a black guy because, it feels like too close to home or something like that. But then the other side is like, oh, my uncles and my brothers used to, pick on me and tease me for being gay and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, so you can use that and justify that for you not dating a black man. But in that same token, we many of us have experienced some form of racism, right, at the hands of a white man. So it's like, how can that same logic not then be used for white people who have also inflicted some type of trauma and harm on you? So, you know, I want the people just to be like, I like a white dick, or I want this white man, or whatever. Like,
Not
don't
like
make it this
this. Not
whole right.
Jesus.
Don't make it this whole
They don't
thing.
even call it that. They call it cock.
I'm sorry,
Ooh.
white blank conk.
Okay, so wait, what about
Like,
the ones that are like, it's just my preference?
so if it is your preference, say that. But I think it's also a proximity thing, right? So like it's also your proximity to, you know,
Is it less problematic to say it's just my preference? Or does it hold the same value?
personally, if you say, for me, if you say that that's my preference and your preference isn't stemmed in like, oh, because it's my preference because this side has done this thing to me, or I've only experienced this from that, like then it kind of goes back to that same point of like you're putting down this other group in order to like justify why you like this other group, instead of like, if it is a thing of just like, I'm just attracted to white men, or I grew up only around white people, and I never saw or never had a black boyfriend or a black person or a black best friend or whatever, like this is all I see, then I can get that, right? I think the same, like, back in the 90s, they had the same argument about Tiger Woods, about how he only dated white women, but like different from the other black men that date white women. Tiger Woods never put down black women, right? It was always of just like, this is what I grew up around. These were the people that I was around. But he also, did deny his blackness as a part of that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's also multiracial. So I don't know if he's
Right, but it was also like it was never a thing of like, I don't date black women because black women are ghetto. It was just like, no, I date primarily white women because that's who I'm around. Those are who are in the spaces that I'm in. Those are, the people that are part of my circle, because growing up, that was all I was around and all I experienced. Like, I can get that. I can understand that because you are a product of your environment, right? So like I can understand that piece, but then the thing that bothers me is when people feel like they have to bash or down the other group in order to justify why I only date this other group.
So the only issue that I have with the "it's all that's around me" thing is like, I know this is a trigger word, but I feel like that's an excuse because I feel like for instance, so
That's gonna be the new word, like excuse.
that's gonna be the title of the episode. So for me, I went to a high school, like a predominantly white high school, and the gays that were at my school were white gays, but like I knew I didn't want to date a white guy, so
Yeah.
I just didn't date, and that's why I had to go to HBCU, not specifically for that, but like I really wanted to go to HBCU just to get the whole black experience. So that's why I wasn't having sex in high school, because I didn't want to have sex with a white guy. I was like, where the niggas at? And so I changed my environment, went to HBCU. That's where the niggas was, and that's when I started to like really get into my gay lifestyle. So I don't know if I buy that whole like, oh, I'm the only black gay in my neighborhood or the only black gay in my community. I don't know if I buy all that, because I'm like, you can change your environment, not
True.
necessarily like you should move to another state, to date. But it's like, I don't buy that.
But I think it's another thing too. Like the other piece of that is also intention, right? Like similar to you, like when I'm in a corporate setting, like especially when I moved to New York, I was the only black person at my company for a very long time. And so when I hung out with my coworkers and stuff like that, it was all white people, and we're going to these white spaces, and I'm the only black guy here. So that one date that I ended up going on with a white guy was because my coworker fixed me up with this white guy, and I was like, yeah, this is not my jam. But like I think it's also about intention, right? Like I personally only see myself with a black man, and it's not
So
because
why would
like
you go on a date with a white guy?
to go on a date with a white guy. I did it. I got the ticket. I got the receipt. It wasn't for me. Like it's more so of like a confirmation thing, I guess, of just like, okay, this person's interested in me. Like, sure, let's try this thing out. Like, but no, no, it's black only over here. But that's also not to, again, not to bash the other side. Like and when I was in New York, I had plenty of like white male friends who like were cool, and I never had like issues with them, and it was never a thing, of that, of just like, oh, I don't fuck with white boys because of like X. Is just like I'm really just not attracted to white men. Like I don't see myself, dating and like building and being with the white man. Like just flat and simple. Like that's it.
So for me, I just want to be clear though. I think people should date whoever they want to date. If you want to date a white man or a white woman, you're black, whatever. Like date who you want to date, love who you want to love who loves on you. Like I'm not knocking none of the interracial girls, none of the interracial couples. Do your thing. But I think for me, and like don't get me wrong, like I've definitely traveled and like been out in Europe and seen some fine white men. Like there are definitely some fine ass European men. I didn't see some fine ass white men in Paris and Portugal and like all over Europe. Like there are some fine white men, white presenting men like that. Just like okay, ooh. But
Stops there.
I personally would never date a white man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not for me. And I mean, one can call it a preference, you call it whatever you want. But for me, black love is really important. I come from black love.
Yeah.
I want to pass on black love to my children. Like, it's really important for me to have someone who shares the same values, the same culture, the same heritage, understands everything I go to as not only a black man, but a black gay man. I need someone who understands that shit. And so for me, I could never date no white man. I could never be with no white man. I could never do life with a white man. And it is no shade because there's, like I said, there's some fine ass white men out there, but just
But
not.
that's it. That's
I
it.
just would not. I
Yeah.
just could not do that.
Yeah, same
But
boat.
I
Like,
do think love is love, and love who you love. And I can understand how people, like one of the drag queens was talking about this. I think it was like Bob the drag queen, and he was like, when he started to do drag, like the black community turned their back on him. The guy he was dating was like, "Oh, I can tolerate you being gay, but I can't tolerate you being a drag queen." And so he went to the white gays, and that's where he
see,
landed.
now, see, that's another example where I don't necessarily like agree with that part because Bob and Monet are also into race play, right? Letting their white men call them nigga, and like all like so that's a different level of like, yes, I get it. Like, you want it to be your authentic self and be in this space and like live in that, and the community that you wanted to be a part of, or the people that you wanted to be with, didn't support you, which that's not to say 100% of people didn't, but you found that love in another space. Kudos. Like, go where you're loved, go where you're celebrated, go where you're appreciated, like who likes you. But the other side of that is now you're taking it a step further and letting them degrade you, berate you, and like all of this out of the sense of like pleasure and the
I mean, look, if that's their kink,
no, ma'am. Nah.
it's not for me. But if that's their kink, like,
No, because they were even talking about it on the podcast. I think they even like took the episode down on the podcast, but like they were literally like talking about like how they were into race play and like, and I'm just like,
yeah,
no, man.
not my.
And see, that's the other piece of it too. Is just like there's so much that, like, again, me being in those spaces, specifically in New York, like I had to deal with a lot of those like microaggressions, and I also had to like go in some of those spaces out of the sense of like, associating with these people at work because I worked at a startup. So it's like you not necessarily have to, but it was a thing of like being out with your coworkers and whatever. But there were moments where I had to like teach people how to like treat me and interact with me and like all of that. And I'm not about to be with no white man. And now I gotta go meet Auntie Susie and Uncle Earl and like all these people who I have to like reset them every time they come around me because they're not used to dealing with black people. Or, I'm at the family function and they say some wild shit and I just gotta, like take the I'm not putting myself in that scenario. So again, that takes me back to the other side of like how somebody can be like, because the guy was on Van Lathan and what's their name podcast, and he was like, his uncles tormented him, his brothers picked on him, his dad, whatever. And so that's why he does not date black men. But it's like at the same time, like you'd rather not deal with black men who did that to you in the past, and you can find a black man who's gonna love you and appreciate you, but you can look past the racism that you are 100% gonna experience, whether it's overt, whether it's like a microaggression, whatever, like you're going to experience that in situations where your partner is white and you're in those like white spaces, like you're gonna experience that. So you'd rather like look past that, but you can't get over what your family did to you coming up as a young gay man. Like I that part
I mean, I could see that because it cuts deeper when it's family versus a stranger. Like I could see you being scarred from like the rejection of your own blood versus like subtle racism like in your day to day. Like I don't know. I could kind of empathize with the girls who that is their experience. Like I would never want to negate anyone's experience. Fortunately, that hasn't been my experience, but I could see how someone like you're rejected by your own people, by the black men in your life. I could see how that could make you not want to date black
But I
people.
feel like that's a different type of rejection, right? It's not a rejection of like, oh, I'm trying to fuck my uncle. I'm trying to fuck my like. I'm not trying
Oh,
to. That's what I'm saying. That's a different type of rejection, right? Like, so you're comparing the connection or the disconnection that you may have with a family member versus the connection and the intimacy that you're going to share. Oh shit, I'm talking with my hands. The intimacy and the connection you're gonna have with a potential partner, like those are apples and oranges. So I get it. Yes, this black man treated me this way or
well,
whatever.
I don't know about that because I feel like you learn love from your parents and your upbringing.
Mm, well,
Like, I feel like
as a person
that's
here
how you
that
learn
did
love.
not, as a person here who did not come from a two-parent household and did not see, that love growing up, that's not how I learned love. Like I didn't learn love from being, looking at my parents. I didn't grow up with my parents,
Not, I'm not
right?
saying your parents. I'm saying like your upbringing, like the people that raised you.
Yeah, no, that's not for me. That's not how I
You didn't
learned
feel
it.
love growing up as a child.
No,
We might want to save that for another episode. That
no,
might be a
but
lot.
we've also talked
There
about this
might be a lot
before.
to unpack.
We've also
She
talked
don't
about this.
love herself.
Right. I love me. I love me a lot, which explains why I am the way that I am, or why, I'm gonna celebrate my birthday for the whole month of April, or, why the smallest accomplishment I have, I'm gonna be like, let's go out and get drinks or whatever. Show myself that love because I didn't get that, growing up. But again, it didn't traumatize me. It just made me love myself like even more. So I think again, going back to that piece, I don't understand, or I personally can't equate me not getting love from like a family member or not feeling supported from a family member to then equate that to like me and a sexual intimate partner being like, okay, well, because this person didn't give me this, you're not going to be able to give me that either, or I can't see myself getting that from you. Like me personally, I don't get that part. I don't get
Quiet
that.
Storm. What do you want to add to the conversation? You
She
haven't
been
said
real quiet this
anything since
episode.
we talked about white men.
um,
Please,
I
fill us
also
in.
agree with the whole excuse of like
Oh, not
community.
excuse. Not you saying excuses.
Uh-oh. Not the word.
This one isn't well, no, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree with using the word or saying the phrase that I was rejected by this community. I mean, I have stories that a black person said something to me I didn't like. If people were teasing me in school, it came from a black person, it didn't come from a white person. So I feel like nothing triumphs history, right? So nothing triumphs how this particular ethnicity were to treat people or our people. So to use that, oh, they didn't want me, and so I went over here. It's like I guarantee somebody in that family doesn't want you either. Like I can guarantee somebody in that family does not want you either. And I get that your relationship is between two people, but I think it is also important to be around people that I don't have to constantly walk on eggshells, that I'm not guarded, that I don't feel like every time you say something I got to be your teacher, and now like you can't say that. Like I didn't come here to teach you. I didn't come here to make you learn. I didn't come here to be the person that opens up your eyes and ears and understanding to another lifestyle in 2024. If you can't see that, then yeah. But again, I too feel, coming from a family, that there are interracial relationships in my family. Love is love. You love who you love. You attract what you attract. You
Love is
identify.
blind.
Love is not
And
blind.
you whatever makes you happy,
Yes.
essentially whatever makes you happy. But to use wording like rejection and they didn't wanted me, or I was teased by but I mean let's let's come on, let's be for real. Okay, so like let's be for real. And yeah, so I mean, if that's what you want to do and that's what you like.
I was always teased by girls. Maybe that's why I went into work, Alex.
Wow.
Maybe that is. Maybe I need
Wow.
to give that a little more
Why
thought.
were you? I was never teased by girls. Girls in like school were like my best
It was
friend.
like, you know how girls would be? Like, they like you, so they act like they don't like you, and they tease you.
Can't relate to that either.
I was seized by girls. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's how I feel about that conversation. But do you think it's in Hollywood or in the way that it's going, do you think it's a trend? Like, do you think people are now about to start doing this because it's trendy?
I don't necessarily think it's like a trend. It's been the case in Hollywood, and so like the girls are up in arms now because Lil Nas X just posted a video where he was like, sampling one of his songs or whatever, and it was like a white hand in the video. Now I know, like we all know, he trolls, like 100% trolls. But I'm like, are you trolling because you see that this is a conversation about black gay men dating white people, and so now you got this hand in the video that's clearly a white hand, clearly a white man's hand. um and so now he's like commenting as people are commenting like, damn, you got all that from this video. But I'm like, are you trolling us or are you trying to like tell us? And then my other thing too is just like, I'm like, if Coleman Domingo step out with a white man, I'm gonna just like I'm
His
gonna,
man is white.
He
he
is.
was a white man. How did I miss
Yes.
it?
No, he's Spanish, but he's like spicy
Oh,
white.
not
I thought
spicy
he was. I thought he was.
white, not spicy
Mm.
white. But
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
a
like,
whole husband. They've been married for like 10 years.
no, I didn't know that. But yeah, I definitely think it is like, especially like in Hollywood, it is a proximity thing. I think also too, I think, and this is just me jumping out there assuming shit, my thoughts are mine. But I think some of them may look at it like, if I have this white person on my arm, it opens me up to more opportunities. It gets me in different spaces. It's made me looked at differently than the others, around me or whatever. So I do think that it could be a sense of like, I'm gonna get more, or I can be in a different space because of who I'm with and who I'm dating. Again, that's just me and my thoughts and where I go with it. But yeah, like it yeah.
I definitely think it's more front facing now because of Hollywood and because there's so many prominent like black celebrity figures now that are gay that have white partners. So I think
Yeah.
it's just like in our faces now. I'm so desensitized to it, but I mean, I also don't really care. So when I see it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like when I saw Coleman Domingo's man, I was like, okay. Pretends to be shocked. Like, like Karamo, his white husband, pretends to be shocked. Like, I'm like, is that RuPaul, his white long term husband who are in an open relationship, pretends to be shocked. Like,
And
it's
I
like,
feel like that's also why I don't not like that's also why I don't care. Like
yeah,
anybody that's doing that, it's not someone who I was looking at anyway. Not saying I would ever have or whatever, but it's not somebody that I'm like, oh my god, you took one of our greats. It's like if it was like like Denzel dating somebody.
Yeah. I mean, that was another comment, there was
Like,
another thread on Twitter about that too. Is like, we also have to look at that as like, typically it's not the type of guys we would go for anyway. Like, the type of people that are dating these, white men or whatever, it's not like there's a type.
that is
Look at
a
them and
terrible
be like,
take.
there's a type. There's a type.
That is terrible. And when I say I don't care, I mean, I know it sounds harsh, but I think it's just like, I think people should date whoever they want to date. Like,
yeah, I don't care enough to pass like judgment.
yeah, I
That's
don't
just
care enough to like pass judgment or write think pieces or type a
right.
Twitter essay. Like, I don't care
Right.
that Coleman Domingo's man is not black. Like,
Yeah.
I do not care.
I would say I care. I only care, and this is just a me thing. I only care when it comes from a place, again, of downing another group to uplift another. Like I hate like the barbershop conversations. What was that show with the barbershop or whatever, where they were talking about, not dating black women, where they be at the barbershop or whatever, and all of them were just talking shit about black women. But it's like, nigga, you were born from a black woman, so it's just like, how can you talk? So when it comes from a place of like downing another side in order to uplift the other, like that's where I'm just like, I don't really fuck with it. Because like, even in that conversation, I know this kind of like veers off, but like, even in that conversation, none of them could tell you why they were with a white woman. They could only tell you that they did not like black women. Like they couldn't tell you what was so special about this white woman or what made them attracted to her and all the things that she do. All they could really talk about was the fact that like, oh, this black woman did this, or black women are too ghetto, or all they want to do is argue, or they don't want to be submissive and like all of this. But like that wasn't the question. It was like, why are you with this woman? It wasn't about why you couldn't be with these other women. It's like why. So when it for me when it comes to that, I'm just like I can't fuck with it because it's like you're downing again downing another group to explain or justify why you're with who you're with instead of just being like, oh, I love them and they do this for me and they're amazing and I haven't seen a conversation that has been that.
So,
Anytime they
so
do talk about it, it's really just like, oh, they're submissive and they listen and they whatever. Like those are kind of like the basis of it, but it's nothing beyond that.
and so that's I've heard similar, like someone that I know who dates white women was like, black girls are too aggressive. Black girls have too much attitude. Black girls gonna curse you out. They gonna fight. They come with too much baggage. I don't want to deal with that. I had 3 bad experiences with black girls, so now I date white women.
And we're not black women are not monolithic, black people are not monolithic. So just because you had those 3 bad experiences, that does not mean that that's the case. Like again, how you said change your environment, so maybe where you're meeting these women at are not the caliber of black women that you want to meet, so go somewhere else, meet another, like like diversify
Is
with.
it not fair to say, like, I tried it and I don't like it, and this is what I like now?
Mm,
Is that not fair to say?
I don't think so.
But you did that with the white guy. You went on a date and was like, I don't like this.
But I knew I wasn't gonna like it. I was just there just to meet them. I think in that same sense, it was just like you never tried it, so why not try it? So it's just like I don't think that is a thing. It's just like yes, okay, if you are in a certain area, you may run across a certain type of woman. But if that's not the type of woman you want, then go to another area because again, people are products of their environment. So if you don't want like a hood girl, if you don't want a girl that's going to, speak her mind or whatever, then go find her somewhere else because people are products of their environment. Like that's how they are raised in this certain area or whatever. So that's how they're going to respond to things. But that doesn't mean that that black woman is not out there. So for you to just be
But
like,
when do
all
you,
black,
how, like, I mean, not to play devil's advocate,
but
because
you
I
about
don't
to.
know that I agree with the guy. I mean, I don't really know. Again, I don't really care. But I feel like if someone is like, I've been in 3 bad relationships with black women, so that's why I date white women, I'll be like, okay. Like, I wouldn't be like, you need to go find you a black sister. Keep trying. Like, I would just be like, okay, you
Fucking
tried
right.
3 black girls, it didn't work out.
Fucking right. Bitch, keep
Okay,
trying.
I'm not gonna be like, you need a black sister on
Keep
your own.
trying.
Keep
Keep
trying.
trying.
Get back in the field. Like I would be like, okay, well you tried 3 times. That's your experience. It didn't work out. Next, like, okay, you date white girls now. Great. Like,
Keep trying. You ain't try hard enough. You ain't try
yeah.
hard
Well, that was a lovely,
enough. So
lengthy
great. So
conversation.
great. So this has been season 1 of Are You Reading Me, Sis? So I want to go around real quick. Give me a highlight from season 1. So like maybe your favorite episode, your favorite moment from the season, and then like what are you expecting from season 2? We're gonna start with you, Quiet Storm.
It's like a thorn and rose. Real quick, my highlight was just like doing it. We've been talking about it for so long, and just like actually like doing it, working towards it, making it a reality. My hopes for season second is to do it bigger, better. Of course, more interaction as far as like in person, bringing more people in, having like more events, knocking them over the head with the content, pushing that out, and so like really doing it. Happy to reach the people that we're reaching and just see where it goes when we join y'all next time.
6 Poppy.
Highlight for me, I really liked. the dating and baiting episode. I think that was episode 2.
It
That
was.
was a good episode. We were in person. I think the first episode we were brand new. It was giving rip me out the plastic. Like we got through the kinks, and by the second episode, I feel like we really had found our groove and our footing, and it was a really interesting conversation and topic. I learned about baiting. So that is a highlight for me. What's my
And what are you
thorn?
looking
Are we
for
doing? Did we do
season
thorns?
two?
Are we doing
No,
thorns?
no. I say,
Like
what
what
do
you
you
expect.
do season 2?
What I expect from season 2, in person. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to guests. I am looking forward to sponsors. Hello. Brand deals. I'm trying to be like Ray Monte out here with my brand deals. So Essence to holla at me. Yeah, bigger and better. A live show. Yeah. I just really want us to get on our Zoom.
Get
Season
on your
2 and
Zoom,
really
girl.
be out here.
Yeah. I think the same for me. I definitely think those in-person episodes were fun. I mean, I've learned a lesson from episode 1. I need to make sure I wear cool clothes underneath them studio lights because
Running up.
it burn up.
Yeah,
So
you still sitting up here with a winter hat on.
I'm in my house. Like, so if you know me in my house is a BYOB house. Bring your own blanket because it's gonna be 64 degrees in here at all times. So it is cold in here. I feel great. I'm not misty. Nothing. It is nice and cold, and the ceiling fan is on. All the things. But yeah. So yeah, episode 1 just like getting my footing and learning. So when I'm in the studio next time, the outfit will be different. I will be cool. And just doing it. Like Alex said, it has been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a very long time. We did it. We're still doing it. We found our footing with consistency. We got plans of action. So I'm excited for season 2 for guests. To be in person again, and yeah, just see where it all takes us.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So cheers, y'all, to season 1 of Are You Reading Me, Sis? Woo! All right, this has been season 1. We're gonna take a little break
when we come back for season 2.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break.
Intro song.
Yeah, we're gonna have an intro
I
song.
already have ideas about that. So
We're gonna take a break. My birthday is coming up. Make sure y'all wish me a happy birthday. It is next Thursday, Aries season. And yeah, let the people know where they can find y'all.
66 Poppy online. Shop my new drop. This is the hottie top. She's on sale right now. Shop her. You know the vibes.
same. I am the not same as 66 Poppy, but same as I am the Alejandro. Find me. I'm not gonna spell it this time. Everybody should got the spelling already.
Wow. And I am Jackson X Ernest. This has been episode 9.
Follow the page. We need to get
Yes,
the numbers up.
yes.
Are you reading me, sis? Follow
Yes.
the page. Send us questions. Also, like, send us suggestions for season 2. Like, what would you like to see? What you want us to talk about? Send
Yeah.
us all that too.
But peace out.
Bye,
See
guys.
y'all again. Bye.